Good morning, folks. We'll start with a confirmation of yesterday's CME diagnosis. When SPACEWEATHER.com agrees with you, it's a good bet you're right. Weak CME. Most will miss south. Glancing blow is possible to our magnetosphere, with some minor geomagnetic storms being the most likely outcome. Top quakes shown yesterday were in Alaska and Canada. They spent the rest of the day shifting south to South America. Nothing major yet. Interesting article out on geoengineering. Not just the spraying, but all kinds of different ideas. It does not favor any of them. The theme of the article is messing with Mother Earth is a bad idea. I'd even go as far as to say they could have done more to break out the dangers of some of these methods, but all in all, it's a solid piece for our community. Now, on to El Nino. We all know the forecasts, including my own from about 40 days ago, stating that El Nino was coming, and that hasn't changed. However, a rapid cooldown of the Pacific waters of concern has experts backing off a lot of their predictions. They had predicted a stronger El Nino event coming on this summer. I had said the strong event would come on this fall or winter. Now they're pushing back their timing, but also their projections of strength. Folks, let me just say it had better warm back up big time, because the cold records have owned 2014. Without a major heating swing of climate extremes, one may begin to ponder the encroaching one-sidedness. Luckily, I'm saving the X-ray flux for later in the news. Okay, let's go around the world. Volcanic eruptions continuing at Ubinas in Peru. Locals are in a bit of a panic, except for this guy who wants a closer look. Scarier volcanic event was the first ever to hit this Indian district. Officials assure us it's a minor magmatic event only, as if there was such a thing. Didn't look so minor to the locals, and that's a bad area for a bigger burst if it's coming. The southern Gulf of Mexico has the lone tropics watch right now, but it's a very minor one. Pulling the precipitable water overlay, we see the coastal events possible at the island nation, but should be nothing serious. Shifting north, you can see the intrusion of moisture into Asia. The storm watch from Weather Online matches it nicely there. African central swath doesn't move for months, but a southeastern and northwestern extension are visible on both the overlay and the storm watch, south hidden a bit by the letters of Johannesburg. Europe still sees the same line going from Greece all the way north. They're also worrying about the significant events from the Atlantic low cresting now. In South America, we have two lows to note. The first reaches back up to the east coast for a flood threat, while the second low is still in the Pacific, just arriving in Chile now. Central and North America. Focus remains the extra moisture and heat coming with it. It's a rainy time of year down here. And back up north, we're looking at a similar storm zone from the last 24 hours. Let's do some space weather. Solar wind is very, very calm. Our planetary shield is doing just fine with no disruptions visible on the proton flux or magnetometer. Solar flaring, even calmer. And this time we can't blame the sunspot complexity. Let's start with the leading spots out ahead. An alpha negative spot and a simple beta to the right that just got some negative development. The incoming spots have been the focus thus far, and with good reason. The southern baby region doesn't look so infant, especially sporting a delta magnetic class at the backside. Sun series on classifying these comes out soon. Meanwhile, a growing beta group is seen up north, but no deltas yet. While half the filament is indeed heading out to space, with a tad coming our way, part of the filament remains, and it is in perfect Earth-facing position. If she goes, let's hope it is straight back down into the sun. The coronal fields are pretty telling. Southern negative gives way to incoming positive on the equator, just days away. You can see how weak the south has become, while the transequatorial opening remains powerful. Can you spot that incoming coronal hole here? How about the rest of the plasma filament? Current conditions and shots of our star to close, including the birth of another filament on the eastern limb. Eyes open. No fear, it's 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.